Let's take a look at a group of verbs that I call GAR ZAR verbs. These are verbs that end in GAR ZAR, like buscar ends in car, llegar ends in gar, and almorzar ends in zar, ZAR, or alcanzar. So again, when I talk about GAR ZAR verbs, I'm talking about verbs that end in GAR ZAR. Now, they're very, very similar to regular AR preterite verbs. Let's take a look at an AR verb that's regular. Hablé, hablaste, habló, hablamos, hablaron. Now, you're very comfortable with that. Hablar in the preterite. I spoke, you spoke, he spoke, we spoke, they spoke. And notice, the yo form ends with an E, and the he form ends with an O. Remember that chant. If it ends with an E, it was done by me. If it ends in an O, it was done by Joe. Notice the yo form has an accent and the he form has an accent. Now, all three of these verbs, buscar, llegar, and almorzar, end in E, A-S-T-E-O, A-M-O-S-A-R-O-N. See, down here too. E, A-S-T-E-O, A-M-O-S-A-R-O-N. And all of them, there's an accent over the yo form E and an accent over the he form O. So what makes GAR ZAR verbs tricky or irregular? Just the yo form. So the only form of a GAR ZAR verb that's tricky or irregular is the yo form. Okay, on buscar, you don't just chop off the AR and add an E, you chop off the CAR and you add QUE. Visualize yourself at a car dealership and the guy comes out and says, "So, what car are you looking for, young man?" And you say, "That's the car I'm looking for." So verbs that end in buscar, like buscar, the car turns into K. Okay, now, llegar is to arrive. Notice it ends in GAR. Now, you chop off the GAR and you add GUE. Like Garfield had a gay old time with the Flintstones. When Garfield arrived, he had a gay old time with the Flintstones. So car turns into K, and gar turns into K. And notice it still ends in E, A-S-T-E-O, A-M-O-S-A-R-O, and the only thing that's tricky is the yo form. Now, why is the yo form the only form of a GAR ZAR verb that's irregular? Because it's used the most. Remember verbs like tener, the yo form is tengo, poner, the yo form is pongo. Why is it that the only form of a G verb that has a G is the yo form? Because the yo form's used the most, okay? Now, almorzar, to eat lunch, you chop off the ZAR just in the yo form and you add CE. That's bizarre, I'll say. That's bizarre, I'll say. See how the Z turns into C? You've seen this before. Everybody say 16. Go. 16. Remember when we took 16 and smashed it together, the Z turned into C, and I said, "Oh, I see, it's easy." And the plural of pez is peces. Remember the Z turned into C? So again, on a car verb, the car turns into K. On a gar verb, the gar turns into gay. And on a zar verb, the zar turns into say. Okay, so what car do you want? That's the car I want. When Garfield arrived, he had a gay old time with the Flintstones, and zar turned into say. That's bizarre. I'll say, "Oh, I see, it's easy." Hopefully that helped with that group of verbs called GAR ZAR.